was an idea and a concept that was curated by the entire group of us, from the promoters down to myself and Scalibur, to do a hair versus mask main event at the anniversary. And that's almost a tradition for Lucha Libre to do an apuestas match, a betting match, a hair versus mask match, a mask versus match, a mask versus hair, whatever you want. It's something with a stipulation on the line more than a championship, something that had to do with pride. And the stage was set. So before I go to Japan, we had essentially signed the deal and made it official. And during my time in Japan, I'm sending out promo videos and I'm calling out Scalibur and I'm doing everything in my power to kind of keep the feud alive from across the world. And he's trying to do the same. And there was an event in February of 2016 where I'm out of town, and he wrestles a guy that does the fire presentation where he sprays essentially the spray bottle with a lighter, and he does a little flamethrower for his entrance. He burns Scalibur's back severely, like second and third degree burns, using the flamethrower. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. I wasn't there. But I can recall that being a point of anger for me or concern, because I'm thinking we got this big match coming up and he's out like what the hell's going on? You know what I mean? And luckily, it didn't hinder too much into our match. He was able to walk into the match fine, and it was a big deal. So we cap off this part of the feud and the most important part of one of my biggest feuds in my career up until this point on February 2nd, 2016 at the Arena Nacionalista. It's the biggest arena in Mexicali that's not like a bullfighting stadium or a stadium. It's the primary Lucha Libre venue in Mexicali, and we had a pretty good crowd. Didn't entirely sell it out. The place is pretty huge, but we had a great match. We main evented. There was blood. There was ripped masks. I was again one of my first matches back from Japan, so it was one of the most hard hitting matches that I had ever had in my career. And we really just gave it our all. We gave the fans three strong falls. The match went over 25 minutes, just at the 30-minute mark. And at the end of the day, Scalibur walked away with my hair and with my long locks. And as we dive into another episode, as I immediately go to Europe, having that haircut was a huge hindrance or a huge impact on my European tour that immediately followed in 2016. So we'll dive into more of the fallout of this big feud and what it meant for me as I went to Europe. And again, there was a huge holdup with me having my hair shaved as I arrived to Europe. But the match was again hard hitting. It was bloody. It was intense, and we gave him three of the best falls that we possibly could. And again, it was the culmination of, at that point, a couple of years of hard work. And it was, for me, a very validating experience being able to not only show off my Japanese international experience, but the Japanese international experience, the Lucha Libre experience that was entirely inspired by my wrestling and my feud and my influence set upon me by the 420 brothers and by Excalibur and by Kamikaze. And again, just the entire Mexicali subculture of Lucha Libre Pro Wrestling was a huge launching point for me in my career. And again, we'll dive into a part two on the 420 brothers, because our in-ring interactions, they certainly don't stop. In fact, they've probably doubled since that time, but it's usually been on the same side. It hasn't been as aggressive. There's not really a blood feud after that match. Obviously, respect was earned on both fronts.